Howdy VC, cheers, Wes here checking in. I just wanted to share with you my wonderful day of crate digging yesterday. I went to a record show in Tampa, Florida that was hosted at a Holiday Inn. Turned out to be a pretty good show. It was about I'd say about half the size of the Orlando show, maybe a little bit less than half the size, but still a really good show. I found a lot of great deals, a lot of cool vendors. Didn't have any problem with the size being smaller. I still spent hours and hours there digging. There was plenty to see, plenty to look through. Orlando was so big that I wasn't able to even really see much of it. So it was good to get to a smaller show, but still had some great deals. So let's go ahead and get into this without trying to make this video too long. First thing, I bought a couple things here from a guy who had some really killer stuff. I mean, he had like a lot of prog and psych stuff and a lot of really amazing stuff, things I wish I knew more about as far as values and what it actually sounded like, stuff I see a lot of people in the VC showing before or have shown before, but I'm just not willing to take the plunge and spend a lot of money on. A lot of that stuff is really expensive, and I'm not willing to spend a lot of money on it to find out if it's something I would like. But it was really cool to see it and dig through it. And I did buy a few things from the guy. A really clean copy of Pink Floyd's Animals here. Really nice original pressing of this. Fold, and it has the of course the printed inner sleeve as well. Really nice clean copy, $8, which is a really good price for that album. And definitely the score from him. This is really killer. I should probably take the shrink off of this. This is Depeche Mode's Violator, $4. I just looked this up on Discogs earlier this day, and one in this condition would go for $30 on Discogs. So paying $4 for it at a record show is pretty amazing. Just perfect copy. The vinyl looks perfect. Has a printed inner sleeve as well. Still in shrink, just awesome score. I got a bunch of just like $2 finds here. A replacement copy for Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant. I bought this a while ago. It was still in shrink when I bought it, and then long time ago, somebody's waterbed broke and flooded out a bunch of my records. So mine has water damage along the bottom now, unfortunately. So really nice, still in shrink, clean copy of this. A Stevie Wonder album I've never seen before. I don't know if there's anything good on here or not. This is called Characters. It's got embossing on the cover as Stevie Wonder albums usually do. Thought that was a neat find. Definitely worth $2 to hear it and see what it is. A lot of talk about the band recently. Here's an album from the band called Cahoots. There's some musicians that got together this past Friday at the bandstand here in Gainesville and did a tribute to the band. This one I was really happy to find. Something I've recently seen in the VC and said I gotta put that in the back of my head to remember to look out for that one. And here it is. This is Oneness by Devadip Carlos Santana. Some of his spiritual sort of work he did. Supposedly this is really good. I'm really looking forward to giving this a spin at some point and thoroughly enjoying it. But I love anything I've heard from Carlos Santana before has been awesome. So I would imagine this is pretty good based on the positive reviews of it here in the VC. All right, next up, another $2 one. This is Eric Clapton's Rainbow Concert. One of the big selling points on here is that Jimi Hendrix is on here, John Cale, Steve Winwood, bunch of people. Seems to be an interesting little concert, and for $2 for a nice clean copy, definitely worth giving a shot. A couple of $3 pickups here. We got Adrian Belew with Lone Rhino. Just thought that would be an interesting thing to listen to. And then a copy of Fleetwood Mac Future Games. So that was the extent of my pickups from the record show, but there's quite a few record stores in Tampa. I should mention that I met up with Jim Driscoll, who is part of the VC group on Facebook. He doesn't make videos. Met up with him at the Orlando show last year, and I know he lives in the Tampa area, so I let him know about this show. He was there. He picked up some cool things. Some of you probably saw some of his posts on Facebook, some of the things he picked up, but he found some really cool things at the show. So anyway, we were talking together, and he was like, yeah, you should. I was saying, well, I want to go to this one record store, and he's like, well, if you're going there, you should go to a couple of these other places that are nearby. And so I made a mental note of them and sought them out. So we went to 3 record stores after I was done at the record show. The first record store was the one I had originally intended to go to no matter what, and that was Sound Exchange. And Sound Exchange has actually 3 stores in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. I just wanted to go to the one that was closest to the record show itself, so we went over there and spent a few hours there, and it was a really cool store. It's one of those record stores that's sort of all-inclusive, all media. They have DVDs, CDs, vinyl, cassettes, 8-tracks, real tapes. They sell vintage audio gear. They get posters, T-shirts, just all in one place. Really cool place. Really cool vibe there. I really enjoyed going there. They had new vinyl. They had a good selection of leftovers from record store day. Nothing else I wanted there. It's a really cool store. I would definitely shop there regularly if I lived in the area. So let's just go through some of the things I picked up at Sound Exchange. First thing we got here is a 12-inch single from Robert Plant. This is this 12-inch single for Little by Little from the Shaken and Stirred album. It's sort of an extended remix version of the song on here and a couple other extra tracks. So I thought that would be cool. It's probably one of my favorite solo Robert Plant songs is Little by Little. So I thought it would be cool to have this single. Next up, another addition to my James Bond soundtrack collection. This is The Man with the Golden Gun. And these 2 were $1.99 each. I went through their discount bins, and then an upgrade copy to Elton John's Blue Moves, which when I talked about this one sometime in the recent past, I said I wanted to find an upgrade copy to what I had. The one I had wasn't quite nice enough, so this will do the trick. And for 99 cents, definitely a good pickup. Album from the band Flash. This is Out of Our Hands. And they always have some pretty crazy album artwork, so that's very interesting looking. There they are. That was $3.99. Okay, next up we have something, you're going to hate me, but I got another Britney Spears piece of vinyl here. This is Me Against the Music, Madonna remix. There's 8 mixes on here, 2 pieces of vinyl. I paid $8 for this, so it's not cheap, but if you look on eBay, you're going to spend a good bit of money for Britney vinyl. So I was okay with that. It was cool to find this one. Moving on. Next up, there was a question on the VC Facebook page about favorite prog albums, and at the time, this is the first one that came to mind that I responded with, and the one I have is not an original pressing, and I found this original pressing of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus. Beautiful, beautiful copy of this, and it is on Cotillion, the original label. It was on, the one I have is on a Red and Green Atlantic, later pressing, but really cool to find an original pressing of this, and it was $6.99, so that was a killer deal. They actually had a promo copy of this for $14.99, I believe. It was in beautiful shape as well. but I didn't feel like spending the extra $8 to have a promo copy of it. If this one wasn't there, I probably would have paid that, but I'm happy with just having the original copy. And the final and best thing I found at Sound Exchange, this is something that was really cool. I never expected to find a copy of this, but this is the Concert for Bangladesh box, 3 LP box set. The booklet with all the pictures and stuff from the show. Great performances. I'm looking forward to hearing this. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I got George Harrison, Leon Russell, Bob Dylan, Ravi Shankar. Some really cool people in here. 3 LPs. They're all in beautiful condition. So this was $25, which I thought was just a killer price. When I looked at copies of this at the other major record stores in Tampa area at Bananas Records, they were asking like $50 or $60 for this, and they weren't even in this nice of a condition. And this is a really clean, nice copy. Won't have to ever buy this again. This is a perfect copy. You're not going to do any better than that. So that was what I found at Sound Exchange. Really cool store. I'm looking forward to going back there, and I'm looking forward to visiting their 2 other stores that are in the Tampa, St. Pete area. They have a really cool vibe. I loved looking at their vintage gear. They had just some really cool vintage gear there, all refurbished, ready to go. Receivers, turntables, EQs, amps, just everything was cool. So after we left Sound Exchange, we went to another place called Mojo. It's called Mojo Books, but they also have records and DVDs. I didn't buy anything there. I thought the prices there were a little high. Nothing there that I really had to have. It was cool to go by there and visit. It's right near UCF, or USF, not UCF. Yeah, that was just another record store we visited. I didn't buy anything there. That was one of the other ones that Jim had told me about. And then the other one Jim told me about to visit, which we almost didn't go, and he ended up having some extra time, so I decided to go, and I'm really glad I went there. Really cool store. It's called Micro Groove. I'll just show you some of the things I got there. First thing, they had some, in the front of the store, they had some boxes, 50-cent bins. They're 49 cents. 49-cent bins, and if you bought 10, they became 10-cent bins, basically. So, but I only found 2 out of there that I wanted, and so I paid 50 cents a piece for them. The first thing we got here is Graham Nash, Innocent Eyes. This is from the 80s, 86, I believe. So it sounds a little bit like the if you've heard the Robert Plant solo albums, it has sort of that kind of 80s sound to it. If you don't like that stuff, you won't like this. But if you like that, you might like this. So that was a cool find for 50 cents. And then New Riders of the Purple Sage, Brujo. So those are a couple of cool 50-cent cheap purchases. Next up, we got a pretty clean copy. I have at least one other copy of this already, but it's not this nice. And I thought it was $2.99. I thought I'd better buy it for $2.99. This is Will the Circle Be Unbroken. Really nice, clean, sharp edge there, and I've never seen one that was in this nice of condition, so definitely wanted to grab that. It's a 3 LP set. Sort of show some of this off here. Really nice packaging and everything. So got that. I found a bunch of hip-hop, old school hip-hop, so that was really cool. We got Houdini's Open Sesame. $1.99 for that. Houdini's Back in Black. It was $2.99. Still in shrink. Got the 12-inch here, The Art of Noise with Max Headroom, Paranoia. I can't pronounce it. It's weird. But 99 cents. Really cool 80s 12-inch there. Piece of hip hop here. This is the LA Dream Team with Bad to the Bone. $1.99. This is from 1987. Last but not least, the find of the day from Micro Groove. This is something I've been looking for. I've been watching online, It doesn't go cheaply, even though it's something that should be plentiful. It's just not. Didn't sell very well, I guess. But it was really cool to find this. And this is the soundtrack to the original version of Tron by Wendy Carlos. Really, really cool soundtrack. And I'm glad I found this. I'd never expected to find this, just crate digging. But it turned up. And it was $18.99. It was priced appropriately. Like I said, I've been watching it online. It does not go cheaply. So that was a really cool find. Really happy to find it. It was a really awesome day. We ended the day by seeing the new Star Trek movie Into Darkness in IMAX, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a feature movie in IMAX before. So that was a pretty awesome experience, and it's a pretty good movie. So I really enjoyed it, and it was a fun day. Glad I got to do a lot of record digging and just had a fun day. Hung out in Ybor City for a while, went to Hamburger Mary's. Just an awesome day. So I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.